The stars were silent, but the galaxy was not, across planets and systems. The story of the Lunari child spread like wildfire. News channels repeated the same phrase again and again. The last of the Lunari lives, and she is with a human. Some called her a gift. Others called her a danger. Some wanted to protect her. Others wanted to control her. And a few, still angry from the broken treaty, wanted to see her gone. But on the ship Silverwake, none of that mattered. To Jace Morven, she was not a symbol or a weapon or a puzzle. She was just Kira. Kira stood in front of the ship's window, staring at the dark sky filled with stars. Her silver hair shimmered in the low light. She was no longer scared of space. She belonged in it. Jace walked in with 2 mugs of warm cocoa, a new favorite of hers. He handed her one. "Still awake?" She nodded. "I was thinking about what? About the dreams I've been having," she said softly. "They feel different now, like someone is calling me." Jace raised an eyebrow. "Someone? I don't know." "Who? But it feels like home, not my old home. Something older, bigger." Jace listened quietly, I think. She said there are more Lunari out there. Jace didn't doubt her. She had been showing signs, glowing hands, soft waves, of energy that pulsed through her fingers when she felt strong emotions. The Lunari were known for their connection to energy and thought. It was waking up inside her. "I believe you," he said. She looked at him serious. "We have to find them. I'm not the end. I'm the beginning." The next day they made a plan. They charted a course to the ancient sector known as the Veil Stars, a hidden place, far from major space traffic. Legend said the Lunare once lived there in floating cities of crystal and light. Most thought the place was a myth, but Kira felt it deep inside. She could sense something calling her there. Jayak didn't question it. He had learned to trust her instincts. They were more than guesswork. They were part of her legacy. As the Silverwake flew through the void, Kira began to change. She spent more time meditating, learning to control her thoughts and energy. Sometimes when she focused, the ship's lights would gently flicker. As if answering her, Jace watched her closely. She was growing stronger, not just with power, but with purpose. She smiled more. She asked deeper questions. She even made friends with the ship's AI, who now called her Captain Kira as a joke. But the journey wasn't quiet for long. One evening, as they passed through an asteroid field near the edge of the Veiled Stars, an alert lit up on the main screen. Varkanian ships detected. 3 vessels. Approaching fast. Jace stood, eyes sharp. Battle stations. Kira rushed to his side. "They followed us." "They want you," Jace said. "They think taking you will stop what's coming." Kira's voice was steady. "They're wrong." The Varkanian ship sent a message. "Surrender the Lunari child, or be destroyed." Jace glanced at Kira. "Your choice." Kira stepped forward. Her voice was calm and powerful. "We will not run. We will not hide. The Lunari live. We are not alone." Suddenly, something incredible happened. The stars around them began to shift. A soft glow filled the ship. Navigation panel flickered, not in warning, but in response. A new signal appeared on the radar. Dozens of small dots, unknown ships, Lunari ships, from the edge of space. They came long, graceful vessels made of silver and light, silent, peaceful, but clearly ready. Kira's eyes filled with tears. They heard me. The lead Lunari ship sent a signal directly to her mind. Soft voice spoke without sound. "Daughter of the stars, we are here. We have waited. We will protect." Jace watched as Kira stood straighter than ever before. She turned to him and whispered, "I'm not the last." "No," Jace said with a proud smile. "You're the first of the new." The Varkanian ships turned quickly once they saw the Lunari fleet. They knew they were outnumbered in Ota. Their leader sent one final message before jumping away. "This is not over." Jace replied calmly, "No, it's just beginning." After the battle, the Lunari invited Jace and Kira aboard their main vessel, the Starlight Memory. It was unlike any ship Jace had seen. Living walls, soft music in the air, a light that flowed like water. The Lunari leaders, tall and glowing, bowed to Kira. "You are one of us," they said, "and you carry our future." Kira looked back at Jace. "I didn't come here alone. He found me, saved me. He's my father." The Lunari nodded. "Then he is one of us as well." The next days were filled with peace. The Lunari offered Kira training, history, and guidance. They gave her a pendant made from starlight crystal, a symbol of her new role as the light's voice, a messenger between species, a bridge between worlds. Jace was offered rest. For once he took it, sat in a Lunari garden, watching strange birds fly under glass domes, sipping sweet fruit tea. But he never stayed far from Kira. They still shared stories at night, still drew together, still laughed, even as she grew stronger, more graceful, more like a leader. She always came back to sit beside him, because no matter what power awakened inside her, she was still his daughter. One evening, Kira gave Jace a new drawing. It showed the Silver Wake, surrounded by stars. In the center were two figures, one glowing, one armored, walking hand in hand toward a shining future. At the bottom she had written, "We came from darkness. We chose light, and we chose each other." Jace smiled, eyes warm. "I like that," he said. "A lot." And across the stars, others began to listen. Treaties were written again, not out of fear, but of hope. Not because of power, but because of one child, who asked for a family and changed the galaxy. The Silver Wake floated quietly near the planet Hestera, a neutral world known for peace meetings between alien races. Inside the ship, the air was tense. Commander Jace Morven sat at the control panel, reading the message from the United Earth Alliance. The words were short but serious. Emergency summit called. Representatives from Varkanis, Earth, and allied species to meet at Hestera. The Lunari child must be brought. Prepare for political risk. Jace sighed. His eyes moved to the other side of the room, where Kira sat, drawing as usual. She looked calm, unaware of the weight her presence now carried. She wasn't just a rescued girl anymore. She was a symbol. A secret, a spark. And that spark could start a fire. Later, Jace sat beside her in the common room. Kira was drawing stars again, but her lines were slower, less playful. "Are we going to another planet?" she asked. "Yes," Jace said carefully. "To a meeting. There will be many people from different places. They want to talk about you." She looked at him. "'Cause I'm Lunari." He nodded. "Are they angry?" Jace didn't answer at first. Then he said, "Some are. Some are scared. Some want to help. But no matter what happens, I'll be with you." Kira looked down. "Do I have to speak?" "Only if you want to." She was quiet for a while. Then she whispered, "I'll try. For you." Jace placed a hand gently on her shoulder. "You're braver than most adults I know." And the Silver Wake landed on Hestera. Peace officers in silver uniforms met them. The air was warm, the sky soft purple, and the buildings tall and bright. The officers bowed slightly to Kira. She stayed close to Jace, holding his hand tightly inside the meeting hall. Dozens of leaders from different species sat in wide seats arranged in a circle. Some were human, others alien, with glowing skin, scales, feathers, or even floating bodies of light at the center. A round platform stood empty, a place for truth, witness, and peace. The moment Jace and Kira entered, all eyes turned to them. A tall woman in a dark suit stepped forward. She was from Earth's Council. "Commander Morven," she said, "thank you for bringing the child. Please step forward." Jace gently led Kira to the platform. He knelt beside her and whispered, "You don't have to be afraid. Just speak from your heart." She nodded, though her small hand trembled in his. The meeting began. A Varkanian leader, the same species that had once held Kira in a cage, stood up first. "This human stole property from our markets," he said loudly. "But that child was not his to take." Gasps filled the room. Jace stood, face calm. "That child is not property. She is a person, a survivor. And she is not alone anymore." Another leader, this one from a peaceful race called the Selene, spoke kindly. The Lunari were guardians of the stars. We mourned their loss. Now, a child has returned. You must protect her, not argue over her. Kira looked around nervously. One alien, tall with bright green skin, asked her gently, "Child, do you know who you are?" Kira stepped forward. Her voice was small but steady. "I'm Kira. I don't know much about being lunar, but I know I don't want to live in a cage. I want to see the stars. I want to laugh. I want a family." She looked at Jace and then said, "I already found someone who treats me like a daughter, and I choose him." Whispers spread through the room. The statement was simple, but powerful. A choice had been made by the one who mattered most, but not everyone agreed. The Varkanians stood up again. "This is dangerous. If the Lunari rise again, they could control minds, twist peace into power. This child could be used against us." The Human Council leader spoke. "We don't wish for control, but we will not allow harm to come to this. Child, we propose a new treaty, one that gives her safety and rights under United Galactic law." The Varkanians were furious. "Then we withdraw from all peace talks. This treaty is a threat." One of them tossed a scroll to the ground, breaking an ancient symbol of peace. The treaty, burned by pride, was gone. Chaos broke out. Voices rose. Guards rushed in. Jace pulled Kira close as the room fell into shouting and confusion. It was clear war might return. Later, back on the ship, Kira sat silently in her room. Jace walked in and sat beside her. "You were very brave today," he said. "But it didn't work," she replied. "They're angry. I ruined it." "No," Jace said softly. "You didn't ruin anything. You showed the truth. Some people just don't want to hear it." Kira looked up. "They come after me?" "They might try," he said honestly. "But they'll have to go through me." She gave him a tired smile. "They won't win." "No," Jace said. "They won't." That night, Jace stood in the command room, looking at a star map. His pilot approached. "What now, Commander?" the pilot asked. Jace stared at the blinking lights. "We find the rest of the Lunari. If she's the last, we protect her. If others remain, we help them. And if the Varkanians send ships..." Jace turned, his eyes were hard. "Then we remind them what humans do when someone comes for their family." Far across the stars, messages spread. The last Lunari child has returned. The treaty burned. A war may rise again. At the center, a human and a child who called him Dad. The stars outside the window of the Silver Wake glowed softly. The ship had entered deep space, far away from the planet Varkanus and its dark markets. Inside the quiet ship, the hallway lights were dim. The engines hummed gently, like a peaceful song in the background. It was calm now. Safe. Commander Jace Morvan sat in the small medbay, a healing band wrapped around his shoulder. His exo-armor had been removed, and he looked more like a tired man than a soldier now. Across the room, lying on a soft bed, was the silver-skinned girl, Kira. She was awake but silent, staring at the ceiling. Her eyes were full of thought, not fear. She was trying to understand what had just happened. One moment she was in a cage, and the next, flying through the stars in a ship with a man who had fought to save her. Jace walked over slowly and sat in the chair beside her. "Feeling better?" he asked, his voice calm. She nodded but didn't speak. "You're safe now," he added. "They won't take you back. I promise." Kira looked at him. "You fought for me, like a real dad would." Jace didn't know what to say at first. The word dad still touched something deep inside him, a wound, old, but never fully healed. "My daughter used to say that," he said softly. "She'd say, 'My dad can fight anything.' I never thought I'd hear it again." Kira sat up slowly, hugging her knees. "Is she gone?" "Yes," Jace replied. "She died during a war, a long time ago." Kira was quiet for a while. Then she whispered, "I'm sorry." Jace gave her a small smile. "Me too." They sat together in silence, not awkward, but peaceful. two souls carrying pain. And somehow, in that silence, a new kind of bond began to grow. The next morning, Jace brought Kira to the observation deck, a wide, glass-covered room that showed the beauty of the galaxy. Her eyes lit up as she saw the colorful swirl of stars, planets, and glowing gas clouds. It was the most beautiful thing she had ever seen. This is space. She whispered. JAC nodded. All of it. Yours to see now. Kira pressed her hands against the glass. It's so big. I always thought the world ended at the bars of my cage. Jace stood beside her. The universe is much bigger than cages. She turned to him. Why did you come for me? He thought for a moment. Because you asked for a dad, and I guess I wanted to try being one again. Kira looked down. I don't know how to be a daughter, he said kindly. We'll figure it out together. Days passed. Kira slowly adjusted to life aboard the ship. She learned to eat human food, though. She said oatmeal tasted like sand, played with the ship's learning computer, and even tried drawing on a digital pad Jace gave her. Her drawings were simple. Stars, flowers, sometimes a stick figure with silver hair, and a taller one beside it. She never said who they were, but Jace understood. At night, Jace would tell her stories, sometimes about Earth, sometimes about old space adventures. She listened with wide eyes, always asking questions. One evening, she asked, Do humans dream? Jace replied, Yes, all the time. She looked hopeful. Then I want to dream like a human. You will, he said. One day. Later, Jace sat in his private room, talking with a senior officer from the United Earth Alliance on a secure call. We've confirmed the market was illegal, the officer said. Varkanis will face serious consequences. But Jace, there's something else. What is it? Jace asked. The girl, Kira. She's not just a survivor. She's the last known Lunari child. Her people were peacekeepers across the galaxy. Their mental gifts were unique. She may be more important than anyone realizes. Jace frowned. She's a child. She doesn't need to be important. She needs to be safe. The officer nodded. I understand. We'll send a team to help, but she trusts you, Jace. You may be the only one she listens to right now. I'll take care of her, Jace said firmly. After the call ended, Jace leaned back in his chair, thinking about what he'd just learned. Could Kira really be the last of her kind? He didn't want to tell her yet, not until she was ready. Next day, Kira was waiting in the control room, her eyes bright. Can I see Earth someday? She asked. Of course, Jace replied. When you're ready. Is it beautiful? It is, he said, full of colors, oceans, trees, cities that shine at night. She smiled. I want to see it. With you. Something in those words made Jace feel lighter. Like maybe, just maybe, he could be something more than a soldier again. He walked over and gently placed a hand on her head. We'll go together, he said, wherever you want. That night, Kira knocked on Jace's door. He opened it, surprised. Everything okay? She held something in her hand. A drawing. She handed it to him. It showed a small figure with silver hair, standing next to a taller one in armor. Behind them were stars. Above them were the words, in shaky handwriting. Me and Dad. Safe. Jace didn't speak. He looked at the drawing for a long time. Kira stood on her toes and hugged him. Good night, Dad, she said softly. He hugged her back, eyes wet. Good night, sweetheart. Somewhere in the galaxy, a soldier found his heart again. And a lost child found something even rarer than safety. She found a family. Red lights flashed across the market as loud alarms rang through the air. As the peaceful hum of trade was gone, replaced by shouting voices, heavy boots, and weapons charging. Jace Morven held the small Lunari girl close to his chest as he ran through the narrow lanes of the Varkanis slave market. Her silver hair brushed against his shoulder, and her small hands clung tightly to the fabric of his armor. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just held on. Jace moved like a shadow, quick and sure. His exosuit, once hidden, now covered his body in sleek black armor. The blue lights on his gauntlets pulsed with power. This was not a lost buyer anymore. This was a soldier in full control. Behind him, Alien guards shouted in strange languages, chasing him with long rifles that glowed at the tip. He took the lunary. Stop the human. One barked. A plasma bolt flew past his head and hit a metal wall, burning a hole through it. Jace turned a corner fast, kicking down crates in his path to slow the guards. He needed to reach the extraction point, an open landing platform on the upper levels, but time was short. His voice was calm as he spoke into his silverwake. Status, the pilot replied, breathless. 5 minutes. We're entering the upper orbit. It's chaos down here, Commander. They've locked parts of the airspace. Jace sighed. Then we fight through. The girl finally spoke, her voice small. Are they going to take me back? Jace looked down at her as he moved. No, not while I'm breathing. She was quiet again, but he felt her arms tighten around his neck. It was answer enough. Suddenly, a group of 6 armored guards appeared ahead, their weapons pointed straight at him. Halt. Drop the child. One shouted, Jack, didn't slow down. He stopped for only half a second. Placed the girl gently behind a large metal crate and whispered, Stay here. Close your eyes. Don't be afraid. She looked scared, but she nodded. Then the soldier and Jace took over. He stepped into the open and raised both arms. The energy blades hidden in his gauntlets slid out with a hiss. Light blue plasma danced along their edges. His armor locked into combat mode. The air felt thick. The guards laughed. One human against us all? Jace didn't speak. He just moved. Faster than any of them expected, he dashed forward, sliding low to dodge the first blast. His blade cut through a guard's weapon and knocked him down. Before the others could react, Jace was already spinning, striking with precision. He didn't aim to kill, just to disable. One by one, they fell, groaning, their weapons cut, their armor broken. Jace stood tall, chest rising, blades still glowing. More guards were coming. Jace returned to the girl and picked her up again. Let's keep moving. They reached a lift platform. Jace pressed the button and turned around to cover the entrance. As it began to rise, more guards entered the space below, pointing and firing. The girl hit her face in his shoulder. Jace raised his left arm. The blue energy shield flickered to life, absorbing the shots. His teeth clenched as the lift moved slowly upward. The guards fired non-stop. The shield cracked. Suddenly, the lift stopped with a jolt. The system had been shut down. Jack cursed under his breath. Manual climb it is. He looked up. They were only 1 level below the platform. He put the girl down gently again. Hold on to my back. She did as he asked, wrapping her arms around his neck. Jace reached for the side ladder on the wall and began to climb fast, every motion strong and sure. Below, the guards were yelling and climbing too, reaching the top. He rolled onto the platform and turned quickly, helping the girl up beside him in the sky. The Silverwake came into view. The sleek silver ship roared down through the clouds. Its belly doors opened, and a rope ladder dropped. 2 minutes, Commander. The pilot shouted through the cum, but Jace wasn't safe yet. A new group of alien enforcers stepped onto the platform, blocking the path. They were larger Varkanian warriors, heavy, armored, and trained for battle. Their leader, a tall blue-scaled creature with glowing red eyes, stepped forward. You broke the law, human, he growled. She belongs to us. Jace moved. The girl behind him? She belongs to no one. The Varkanian sneered. Then you'll die with her. Jace moved forward slowly. He couldn't fight with the girl at his side. He needed to protect her. He whispered, Stay low. Don't move. And then he ran. The fight was brutal. The Varkanian warriors were strong, but Jace was trained, not just by Earth's best, but by war itself. He ducked, rolled, blocked, and struck. His blades hummed as they clashed against alien armor. His body ached. But he didn't stop. One Varkanian charged, but Jace flipped over him, driving his blade into a power pack on the alien's back. Sparks flew. Another grabbed his leg, but Jace smashed his helmet with his gauntlet. Finally, the last enemy fell. Jace stood, covered in dust, his armor cracked, breathing hard. The Silverwake hovered above. He scooped the girl into his arms and jumped for the rope ladder. The ship pulled them up fast. Below, the platform grew smaller. The alarms faded into the distance. Inside the ship, the crew stared at Jace and the girl in silence. The girl looked around, amazed. Is this... your ship? Jace smiled for the first time that day. It's our ship now. The pilot looked at him. Commander, are you okay? Jace sat down slowly, holding the girl close. I will be. As the ship flew into the stars, Jace finally let himself breathe. He looked down at the girl. She smiled at him, sleepy but safe. You came for me. Always will, he whispered. Back. Somewhere deep in the galaxy, one man had stood alone against a system of cruelty. The twin suns of Arcanus hung low in the sky, casting a red glow over the alien city. Giant towers of steel and bone reached into the sky, their shadows stretching over the sprawling galactic trade bazaar, the largest marketplace in this sector of the galaxy. Here, traders from hundreds of worlds gathered to sell everything imaginable. Food, machines, rare minerals, and sadly, even living beings. In the heart of the market was the living exchange. A dark and quiet place, surrounded by walls covered in blinking lights and thick security. No laughter, no music, only quiet voices and the clinking sound of metal chains. Commander Jace Morvan walked slowly through this place, his long coat hiding the armor beneath. His face was calm, but his sharp eyes noticed everything. The guards, the hidden cameras, and the buyers who looked at other species like they were toys. He hated this place, but he was here for a mission, the United Earth. Alliance had received reports of illegal child trafficking on Barcanus. Jace had volunteered for this assignment, even though it wasn't a soldier's job anymore. He wasn't just here as a spy, he was here because he couldn't forget what he had lost. 3 years ago, his wife and young daughter had been killed in a rebel attack. Since then, the fire in his heart had never truly cooled. He had built walls around his feelings, choosing duty over pain. But today, something was about to break through those walls. He walked past cages of all shapes and sizes round. Square, floating, some barely big enough for a child to sit. Most of the beings inside didn't speak. Their eyes were dull. Many were too scared to even look up. Jace kept his communicator close, scanning data from the market. His cover was holding so far, a collector from the outer colonies. No one suspected the quiet human to be a soldier. Then he heard it. A whisper. So soft, he almost thought he imagined it. Can I have a dad? Jace froze. He turned slowly and saw a small cage pushed into the shadows between 2 tall stalls. The bars were rusted. A dim light above flickered. Inside, sitting quietly with her knees pulled to her chest, was a small girl. She wasn't human. But her form was close. Her skin was pale silver, glowing faintly. Her hair was soft and white, like snow. 2 large eyes, bright violet, looked up at him, not with fear, but with something else. Hope J stepped closer. The girl didn't move back. She just stared. He knelt down beside the cage, his voice low. What did you say? Her lips trembled. Can I have a dad? Just for a little while? Jace felt a sharp pain in his chest. He hadn't heard the word dad in years. It's not spoken like that. Not by someone who needed one. He looked at the cage's tag. Specimen. Lunari. Female child. Age. Unknown. Status. Unsold Lunari. That name sparked a memory. Once a peaceful race known for diplomacy and art, their planet had been destroyed. In a war between empires. Survivors were rare and often taken. Jace felt his hands tighten into fists. A nearby alien vendor noticed him and walked over, speaking in a thick accent. Ah, good eyes, sir. Rare specimen. Quiet one. Doesn't cry. You like Chiforia. Can even talk? That's a bonus. Jace stood slowly. His voice was cold. How long has she been here? The vendor shrugged. 2 cycles. Maybe more. Doesn't matter. You want her or not, I give good price. No questions. No. The girl whispered again, this time louder. Please, I don't want to be here. I just want to go home. I don't know where it is. Jace's breath caught in his throat. He remembered his daughter's voice, the way she used to ask for bedtime stories. The memory was too strong. This wasn't just another mission anymore. This was personal. He activated a silent beacon on his wrist. A small green light blinked his ship. The Silver Wake would start tracking his location. Backup was at least 15 minutes away. Too long. He turned back to the vendor. "I want to see inside the cage." The vendor laughed. "I first, then." "Look. Rule of market." Jace's expression didn't change. "I'm not asking." In one smooth move, Jace pulled back his coat. His armored gauntlet glowed, and a hidden energy blade extended with a soft hum. The vendor gasped and stumbled back. "I'm breaking the rules today," Jace said quietly. With a quick motion, he sliced through the cage lock. The door creaked open. The girl didn't move at first, too shocked. Then slowly she reached forward. Her fingers touched Jace's hand. "I've got you," he said. "You're safe now." Alarms started to ring. Loud voices echoed across the market. Unauthorized release, security breach, human interference. Jace lifted the girl into his arms. She clung to his neck like she had always belonged there. Guards began to rush in, weapons drawn, but Jace was faster. His X-armor unfolded around his body, covering him in dark alloy. His visor dropped over his eyes. "Silver Wake, lock onto my signal," he said into his comm. "Initiate emergency extraction." 10 minutes out, his pilot replied. Jace narrowed his eyes. "Then I just need to hold." He turned to face the incoming guards. Energy blasts hit his shield. He didn't flinch. With the girl held tight against him, he charged forward. One man, one child, against the cruelty of a system that had forgotten kindness.